What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Today I want to talk about Call of Duty 2014 and my expectations for that game. Before I get started though, I do want to talk a little bit about the Bizon. This gun was recently buffed, and I gotta say it's become one of my favorites very quickly, especially with the muzzle brake added to it and grip. In this gameplay, I don't have the grip. I think I have the extended mags, but I think the grip is a little better on the Bizon just to keep those medium range gunfights a little easier to manage. The thing's got quite a bit of kick, and it can be fairly difficult to keep the gun under control at even medium distances. Actually, you're seeing that right now. So I really like it. Is it overpowered? I don't think so. I think the recoil really keeps it under check. It is a very badass gun at close range, but as soon as you get out to medium and long ranges, it's almost useless. But even at medium ranges, it can be pretty difficult to control, and an assault rifle is really going to beat you up pretty bad. So I don't think it's overpowered. I think it has become a top tier weapon in Call of Duty Ghosts, and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely recommend checking it out, definitely with the muzzle brake and with the grip. So I want to talk about Call of Duty 2014, and to be honest with you, this topic is probably too big to handle in one video. So what I really want to focus on is kind of the overall game design. And the first thing I want to see in Call of Duty 2014 is some freaking color. I'm getting a little sick of the Infinity Ward black, gray, and brown color palette. They don't seem to know about any of the other colors in the color spectrum. And to be honest with you, it gets a little oppressive when you're playing that game for an entire year. I much prefer the Treyarch kind of level design with a lot of color. The maps flow a little bit better, and I like the Treyarch level design better than the Infinity Ward design, and that's what I'd like to see Sledgehammer do in this coming up Call of Duty. Now, I think that color alone would make the game just visually more appealing. It definitely, the gray and the brown of the Infinity Wards, it just, I don't know, I'm sick of it already. We're only in April. I'd really like to see much more, a broader color palette from Sledgehammer in Call of Duty 2014. I'd also like them to steal the engine from Call of Duty Ghosts. I think that Infinity Ward games play better than Treyarch games. Now, I think that the Treyarch designs are better. I think that their kill streaks are more fun. I think their guns are actually cooler, and I think their level design is better. But the games just don't have as good a feel as the Infinity Ward. I think the netcode on Infinity Ward games is better. I think the guns register hit markers better, right? In Treyarch, there's just too many times when I feel like, you know, I should have killed that guy. There's no reason that he killed me. You know, that is just bad netcode. You know, something happened that I wasn't aware of. I feel gypped. That happens a lot less in Call of Duty, or in Call of Duty Ghosts, the Infinity Ward games. In the Infinity Ward games, however, I often feel like camping is encouraged. You know, the color palette really adds to that, not to go back to the color palette, but, you know, characters just don't pop out as much as they do in the Treyarch games. And that's another thing I'd really like to see Sledgehammer do, is kind of get rid of these like highly camouflaged player models, like especially this ghillie suit that has really proved to be super popular online. People like put that ghillie suit on, then they camp in a dark corner or in a bush, and you can't see them at all. And that is really annoying as a player, you know? Like, I understand that newer players, they prefer to camp because, you know, it's hard to run around and just get shot all the time. So camping becomes like a way of kind of familiarizing yourself with the game and, you know, just kind of getting your KD up and kind of getting more familiar with the game and kind of really tasting success for the first time. But when the camper is just so well equipped to hide, you know, it becomes really frustrating for everybody else, you know? So when a guy's got a ghillie suit on, he's hiding in a bush, and there is no possible way you could have seen him, I find that to be a little annoying. Give the other players a chance to see that guy. Make the ghillie suit pop out a little bit better if you're going to put it in the next game. But better than that, you know, give everybody outfits that actually stand out against the background of the levels. you know, in this Infinity Ward game, in Call of Duty Ghosts, everybody's wearing gray or white or black, and all the levels are, you know, gray or white or black or tan, and, you know, the characters just don't pop out as much as they do in the Treyarch game. So that's another thing I'd really like to see Sledgehammer get right, is make the character models pop out a little bit. Make sure that, you know, you can see them if the guy's just standing still in a dark corner. I want to be able to see him. The guy's still got an advantage, you know, he's still, you know, camp in a doorway, but when I walk into that doorway, I want to be able to instantly recognize that there's a guy there, not instantly recognize that that bush is a little bit bigger than normal. The last thing I want to see from COD 2014 that I'll talk about in this video is give us multiplayer customization. And by that, what I'm talking about is let us get rid of those like music guitar riffs that play constantly during your multiplayer match. Let us get rid of player callouts. So when my character sees something, or, you know, seemingly randomly will just make callouts, and that it just gets annoying. Like, I understand from a multiplayer perspective that other characters doing callouts is good. You know, it alerts you of enemy teams or enemy players nearby, and I don't want you to get rid of that. I just don't want to hear my character doing it all the time. It just gets annoying after a while. Same with that guitar riff every time you do certain things, or every time you level up, or, you know, music at the end of the match, you know, right when you need your sound the most, right when the match is on the line, all of a sudden the music kicks up, and that's annoying. Let me turn off all the music in the game. Let me turn off all my characters' callouts so that I can just use, you know, the sounds of the game to play the game better. That's something that I'd really like to see in the next COD 14. I know there's a ton of other stuff that you guys want to see in Call of Duty 2014. Leave them down in the comments so I can address them during the next video I do, where I talk about more of maybe weapons or score streaks or what have you. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.